What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit. I've just had the biggest feed ever, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. What did I eat? Do you ask me? I know you don't care. Onigiri with kimchi pork. Oh my god. I am so fat. It feels great though. But in the bottom side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Lundberg. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Soup. What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. The map is Watering Hole. And all things that are good are great. And all things that are great are equally great. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but let's check out the relics here and see what these guys are going to go for. We've got the Scales of Catoblepas here, being a little bit of a vulnerability to pierce, attack, shenanigans. Archimedes Ledger here as well, going to be making those siege weapons a little bit less population brokenness. Osberg Wagon there, going to be making those camel caravans a little bit more effective. And the Tale of Cerberus here, with those myth units recharge time going down by 25%. What is going on in this main base of Lundberg? It looks like a lot of villagers on favor, as well as a lot of villagers on wood, as Lundberg has not left his base just yet. This is 2 minutes of hurting here, ladies and gentlemen. This does hurt. I honestly don't. I'm gonna be real with you right now. Build orders are great. Fantastic. Absolute primo. But also scouting is important. If you don't know what your opponent's doing, you're not going to be able to make the right decisions in a game, and they're going to be able to find counters to destroy you. Now we see a 2-minute and 15-second Vaults of Erebus here coming through for Lundberg. So this is why he does this. So he is sacrificing scouting time for around about 120 gold. That's about what he's sacrificing it for, because you can do this while getting scouting without any hurting. Get a 4-minute advance time, about a 3-minute-ish, maybe 3-minute 10-ish Vaults of Erebus through without this. Now the scouting comes through, he's going to be able to find some things, but you can already see on the map here, all of the goats, apart from these two, because he's super unfortunately missed them, all of the goats should be Superlicious Definitious over here. But we'll see how this one's going to go. Soup's going to be getting up that temple over here. He's got a relic behind him he's really going to be wanting, but I don't think he's going to be that useful. Now, the big question is, which god here for Lundberg? And which god here for Soup? So we see Force City coming through. And on the other hand, Lundberg with the slightly delayed advance time, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 4 minutes and 30-second advance time here. No. It's even later than that. Jeepers. These advanced times people are getting away with nowadays. I tell you what. There is Sentinels, so you get away with this as Hades, though. To be honest, I think if Soup had wandered forward and got a spy onto this, he would definitely get some value with an early attack. A troll coming over here and whacking onto this wood, or even coming over here and getting some value onto the villagers here. Not a terrible idea. And potentially even had Soup ran that Berserk forward and seen exactly where all the stuff is, he might even have thought, maybe put a temple even forward, even further forward, or even onto this backside here, and you can get some serious value with forward temples against a very, very greedy late advance here from Lundberg. But Ares is the god of choice. We do see a couple of villagers jumping onto that favor, onto that wood over there. And the HUSKSUPPE production is on the way. Now, Soup knows this. Soup's been a bit of a crazy man on talking about this strategy. Strategy is basically you make Cyclops, you make Toxotes, and Norse players all around the world cry. Now, oh, did he show that? He totally showed that. You really don't want to show this sort of stuff to your opponent. If you can make it so that your opponent doesn't know you're going for a talent center here as Norse against Hades, it's really, really big, especially when they're doing these sort of herding strategies and things like that. But the town center is going up. Cyclops is going to be wandering forward ever so slightly. You've got to be careful not to lose that one. If that gets caught out, it's a really big deal. But we'll see what Soup's going to go for. Now, I think in my guesstimation, the play here for Loki is twofold. If you know what your opponent's doing and they're not going to change anything. So if they do change things up, you've also got to change things up. But I think the god path here for Loki is Forseti Njord. Forseti Njord. Reason for it is you go Mass Hursa into Ringgiver Jarls. That way you're more than okay with him spamming out Cyclops. You're more than okay with dealing with the Toxotes. See our cheeky little troll going to get sniped down there. Town center is up now for Lundberg as well. Now, obviously, if you're in more of an open map, maybe going for Bragi is a better idea with just Mass Hursa. Idea being of just catching your opponent out of position and getting good flaming weapons off. But there is a problem with that in that your opponent may have Underworld. And we have seen Underworld in the main base into the opponent's main base being a little bit of an issue for the Norse to deal with, because, you know, how do you kill off that Underworld? It's a little bit of a challenge. Nonetheless, more walls coming up as both players are just getting themselves sorted. It's funny how the meta, so to speak, quote unquote, the meta has really gone from one side, which has been hyper aggression. Lots of super early attacks to kind of put their opponents onto the back foot. You saw that with Poseidon. We actually saw it with Thor a little bit. We saw it with, I guess, with Zeus as well. And maybe even also with some Egyptians to boot there. But, you know, it's slowly starting to get into this thing where it's like, you know what? We don't take that much damage from early attacks. So why do we go so quick to the next stage is the big question on everyone's lips at the moment. But a lot of great halls coming up. We see the Hall of Thanes coming through. And where to next is the big question. We see a couple of military academies, a couple of archery ranges coming down. So if your opponent does go for Cyclops into Hoplite Toxotes, you do need to get yourself out something to deal with those Hoplites. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. And this is the kind of compositions to be scared of when you're playing as Loki, because you can't go for Mass Hursa here. But Soup, he hasn't scouted. He doesn't have a spy placed down. He doesn't know what Lundberg is up to here. And Lundberg at the moment, scouting out nicely. We just see a great haul coming up over here. He's going to be noticing some raiding cavalry coming through. But still not a single unit produced. Lots and lots of resources in the bank here for Lundberg, kind of realizing he doesn't need to do anything at the moment, can just go straight to the heroic age. Makes a lot of sense. He's got his walls set up, and he's going to be in a nice, safe position here. Soup probably can put some pressure on right now, to be honest. Maybe a dock coming down over here and a transport ship would not go astray, especially given that he's already got that town center down. His economy is going to be a little bit booming. Losing a couple of resources on a dock and a transport ship is never going to be that bad. Potentially even a longboat wouldn't be a terrible idea, but just a dock and a transport ship never goes too far astray here. As the wall's coming up onto this position, as Soup says, "G'day, mate. I want to put a stop to this." And that villager there is going to be the first blood drawn in this game. Smack, 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 and he's out of there. Meanwhile, we've got some houses coming up all across the map. Now, Soup does have himself the upgrade, I believe, Eyes in the Forest. So every one of these houses, it just gives him look at how much line of sight he gets on this forest here. So much line of sight there for him to play with. But he's got to get in onto these sides to kind of see exactly what's going on over here. And still, we're not really sure, if we're in Soup's point of view, what Lundberg's up to. Now, he's going through Apollo. He's getting himself his upgrades. He's making those Toxotes. He can make himself immediately Hypaspist here as well. And I can definitely see Hypaspist, Toxote, Cyclops being very, very difficult to deal with. Very, very difficult to deal with. The Toskabos was the first blood. Well, the first real blood. No one cares about the scout. You know? It's fine. Wall gets broken down. How come this one's still alive? I love how these buildings get blown up as they get taken out. Anyway, nonetheless. A whole bunch of long houses coming up now for Soup. He is up through Bragi, so he's deciding not to go for the Njord approach, which, I mean, I honestly think it's a bit of a mistake, to be honest. But Ares is coming through. Will of Kronos is coming... Not Ares. Will of Kronos is coming through. Do we also see... Yeah, we've got that Phobos' Spear of Panic in for Lundberg. And basically what this game is going to come down to is a really big boom up into a certain point where the clash happens, and we'll see how it's going to go. Now, if Soup... He's going for this town center. He's got this town center on the back here. Lots and lots of resources right now in the bank for Soup, as I think he's got to be a little bit scared about what's coming for him. He knows what's coming for him. He's seen it. He knows. It's coming, but he knows what's coming. So how is he going to deal with it is the big question. Villagers have been spotted over here. The armory on this position does have a couple of those upgrades coming in. So we see copper weapons coming through. He's got that bronze shields also in. Villagers can make a break for it into the corners of the map. He doesn't have to stay in the main base. Lundberg is searching around for something to take out here. And look at this army of Lundberg. It's honestly a little bit underwhelming at the moment. Just 2 Cyclops here. This can definitely be taken out by Soup. We see him pulling back over onto this position here to try and deal with this. He can also make some Goaty here if he wants to. We see the Enyo's Bow of Horror coming through. This one makes those arrows move 15 faster, whatever that means, but it's 10% extra damage for the Toxotes there as well. So that's kind of a big deal. Units now starting to move forward here for Lundberg, as Soup, a little bit out of position, is trying to play around the underworld passage. So we see even more of those great halls coming down. I love this. 1 unit to build buildings consistently through the game, and you're never going to get into a bad position in terms of your production. 157 or 180 population right now for Soup, as the Cyclops going to be charging in head first onto this town center. They will take this down very, very quickly, as Soup moving forward. He's got those Toxotes on the back, but I mean, he could delete the temple and run around the side. He's trying to split up his units here to take this fight. Toxotes running forward here, as it does look like Soup is going to have to... Well, he's taking the fight. Great micro there from Lundberg, as he drops the underworld passage, and now he's over onto this position, creating even more pressure onto this position here. The Berserks get converted. The underworld passage, just take it out. You have to kill this one off first and foremost, and then you can move over here and deal with that underworld passage. This is a great usage here from Lundberg. I think Soup was a little bit too slow on the flaming weapons there, as the underworld passage gets taken down. The back town center going to go down as well. He can leave a unit over here to rebuild that town center if he so chooses, but Lundberg going to be able to finish this one off. Gets a couple of villager kills to boot, but villager differential right now definitely in favor of Soup. Moving forward in the main base, we are seeing a couple of units now moving forward, taking down these buildings. A Draugr spawn here, going to be a big, big help. There's also a Hursa here that could potentially take out that Cyclops onto that position there, as the Hursa charge forward. We'll be able to finish off the Cyclops over here. The town center going to be going down, but the rest of Lundberg's army does end up getting cleaned up here. Lundberg's down to 110 population, but the middle of the map here is getting taken down. I want to see more buildings getting produced here for Soup somewhere. He can get this town center back up just with 1 Hursa. It doesn't matter, in all honesty, how long it takes, but he just needs to start it. He's going to leave a couple over here to get it up pretty quickly. It's the 53 seconds. It's still a long time, but it's worth it to make that happen, as we're seeing a fortress getting thrown down in the middle of the map here. If Soup can get himself back into that 3 town center to 2 town center kind of position with the population advantage, he should be able to break through here. He's got a lot of upgrades coming through. You also see that Dwarven breastplate coming in as well, but heavy infantry coming in, bunch of Toxotes coming through. Healing Spring is getting dropped down to get those units back up to full HP. It does take them quite a while to actually finish up here, but with buildings getting taken down, Soup does need to spam that. It's got a lot of wood in the bank. He does have nearly full population here at the moment, though. And honestly, I think he can get away with a lot more Hursa being built at the moment. There's not really that many Toxotes. He's got enough raiding cavalry to carry him. Build himself Hursa and Goaty at the moment, and it's going to be completely fine. But more buildings getting taken down. The relics popping out here. It's definitely a really big relic in Scale's Pass here to give those Cyclops a little bit more help in this game. Soup going to be retreating back ever so slightly. Longhouse going to be going down on this position as well. As Soup is now saying, all right, time to take a fight here. Battle Ball getting some good damage done. Iron Harry going to be getting that big horn getting blown off. Great positioning here from Lundberg with those Toxotes on the back as the Hersher need to get onto that Cyclops. They do manage to do so. There's another Cyclops over here that will get some serious damage done. Going to be flinging that raiding cavalry right into the middle of that fight. They're getting some huge damage done, but the Hersher charging around onto the back, going to be able to snipe that one down as well. Population for Lundberg is carrying in a nice way for the time being. But hoplites are coming through as well. Same too for Soup. He's definitely holding at the moment, but he's not spamming units out. He should still be at full population. Doesn't have up those military buildings. Lots and lots of resources in the bank for the moment here for Soup, as it looks to me like Lundberg will be able to hold. Raiding cavalry going around onto the backside here. Soup just needs more military buildings. He's lost too many at the moment. He's charging around trying to take out the Toxotes on the back, but it's just not working for him just yet. Sniping down those bad boys there. A nice micro on that fortress. I think Soup just needs to retreat and then get himself back up to full population here. That's a completely valid way of playing this position right now for Soup, but he's suiciding units away, and this is giving Lundberg all of the advantage at the moment. We even see some HUSKSUPPE coming through. And now we see the Great Halls coming down as Soup finally kind of realizing what he needs to do at the moment. He's got enough favor for another Flaming Weapons in this game. We'll see if this is going to be the death of him or not. Hell has been queued up. Units are going to be charging forward. Taking this town center out will be a big, big deal here. I honestly don't think Soup needs Mythic Age at the moment. He needs full population and clicking Flaming Weapons, and that's going to be enough. He could also go for like a whole bunch of Fire Giants here as well, so maybe getting to the Mythic Age isn't a terrible idea. That's the town center going to get targeted down by the Metropolis. A whole bunch of raiding cavalry now coming through. He does have himself that conscripts, or is it Levy? I don't know. I think it's Levy. Yes, he's got Levy at the moment on those Great Halls, so his raiding cavalry are going to be coming through, deciding to take the fight at the moment a little bit early. Still has so much more favor, so much more population differential in sort of unit count here. Can't really tell because it's a little bit bugged up as the Toxotes are going to be retreating back. Petropoli are going to get taken out. There's a big fat rock giant spawn here. Can he get that one through? Retreat the raiding cavalry away and then charge forward and get that torn on. He does manage to do so. It's going to be a whole bunch of dead Toxotes there as the population for Soup is creeping up in this game. Fortress on the front is going to be going down as the raiding cavalry need to break through the wooden wall on the front here. Soup not paying attention as the Toxotes are getting some good damage done, but the wooden wall will go, I was going to say will go down, but he decides to retreat back away. We see Artemis coming in now for Soup as well. Villagers getting taken down. We've got the Draugr on this position as well. Popping out, going to get a little bit of damage done from afar. Remember, he does have that kind of spectral sort of attack as it goes straight through the unit. So you get a lot of damage done attacking on those sorts of positions here. And now we will start seeing a whole bunch of hoplites coming through, as well as some Cyclops. And this can change the tides here as some Huskarls are going to be coming through. Hell has been clicked up. Is he clicked up in the main town center? Yes, he has. Grab that upgrade. What's it called? Architects here. And you can keep the town center alive against a kind of haphazardly placed earthquake. Basically on a town center that's full HP with architects. It might be enough with fortified town centers. I don't think it is. I'm fairly sure earthquake does 4,400 crush. 15% of that. I think it's still doing more than 3,360. So you do need that architects if you want to survive there. As a couple of those Cyclops are starting to come out, and these are scary Cyclops now. These are Mythic Age Cyclops. There's big earthquake coming through. We'll take down the town center. But Soup is still on 3-2 town centers. He's still got the population edge here. But he needs some heroes. Otherwise, those Cyclops are going to be a very, very big problem for him. He will be able to get himself out some fire giants here or some frost giants here as well to try and take out the myth units on the other side. Do we see any heroes getting queued up? No, we do see the vaults of, not the Call of Valhalla tech coming through as the raiding cavalry are trying to get around onto those Toxidays on the back, not able to really get there all too quickly as they're going to be able to clean up all those low HP units on the front here as well. The Cyclops are just cleaning house as Soup's army gets absolutely erased in that one. Those Cyclops and the Chimera, it's just so much damage that comes out, and he's still not building heroes. He's got to get something out to answer those Cyclops. Otherwise, they're just going to clean everything else up. Pestilence getting dropped down, going to hit a whole bunch of those buildings as well. And now Lundberg can sweep through the center of the map and get some serious value here as he's grabbing this town center for himself. Mythic Age is in. Nidhogg gets dropped down. Where does it get dropped down? I don't know. I don't know where he clicked it. Where's the red dot? Nidhogg. Hello? Oh, Nidhogg over here. Going to get a little bit of damage done. Does have that special ability to charge forward here. Wait, what's happening? Oh, now it's moving. Not sure what was going on there, but having a little bit of midlife crisis, or a early life crisis, I should say, as a raiding cavalry charging forward. Just not enough units here for Soup to have any sort of engagement at the moment. All of his buildings here are taking a long time to train, and Soup idling units all over the place. He's got so many resources in the bank, but what's he going to build? He could just build Ursa at the moment. Yes, there's Toxotes here, but if you can just get out full population, I don't know if it might not be enough at this point. The army quality for Hades is really, really good here, as the Nidhogg going to be charging forward onto this position as it goes for its first sweep through. Huge damage coming down onto those Toxotes there. The Toxotes will be able to get a huge amount of revenge fire onto this Nidhogg here, but the Toxotes mostly all getting taken out for the time being here. Great defense here from Soup, but Lundberg deals with the Nidhogg, and still Soup needs to get himself out and answer for these big fat Cyclops as the Cyclops coming through, throwing dwarves. It's always funny to see a dwarf getting thrown there as the Cyclops charging forward, taking those units out in a really big way. Great hauls going down on this position as well, as we have a cheeky little Sentinels on the front position here, and Soup with those Berserks is not going to be able to break through on that position in the slightest here. And it looks to me like Soup has just fallen to the age-old problem of, how do I kill Myth Unit? I mean, he could make some Frost Giants here as well to freeze those Cyclops. Not a terrible idea, because then they would not be able to do anything. Soup's down to 74 villagers versus the 100 of Lundberg. Lundberg not really spending his resources all too well, but he's going to be getting those upgrades through now. Definitely needs to get the military population in, because we're also going to be seeing that Deimos' Sword of Dread. Oh, Scarlet, they're not going to do anything. You can't... These are Mythic Age myth units. This game, you have to have heroes here. It's so insanely important. As the Cyclops going to break through the Ox Cart on that one there, and in that moment, Soup decides to tap out. GG! Lundberg gets the dub. He kind of, I think Soup here got caught out. He was kind of feeling like he was way in front in this game, which in reality, I don't think he really was. He kind of took a fight on this position here where he killed everything off and he pushed Lundberg back, but he spent 250 favor on that. So where is the like equality here in this sort of a matchup? It's the fact that your opponent's going to be having the ability to make some myth units after the fact here. And I think if Soup had just kind of realized that Cyclops was still on the table and reacted to the fact that there was Cyclops in the army, and then just built some Hursa out, maybe some Goaty out as well, before actually engaging when Lundberg moves out of his base, he's actually able to hold this position completely fine and get the win. I mean, alternatively, even after losing this fight, had Soup had more military buildings out, he had so many resources in the bank, and then just made the Hursa, he would have been able to win the fight as well. And finally, another idea is, instead of using flaming weapons with a whole bunch of raiding cavalry, which isn't terrible, use it with a whole bunch of Husker here, and you're going to be able to kill off those Toxotes. I guarantee you that a full population Husker ball with flaming weapons will kill off a whole bunch of Toxotes and some Cyclops. But just refusing to kind of go that route here in Lundberg makes him pay. GG. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.